Good morning. Yesterday, a very dear friend of mine called me up. Before she even told me what was on her mind, she prefaced the conversation, took a deep breath by saying, Matisha, please go easy on me today. Now, if you know me, you know exactly why she said that. I am a firm believer in tough love at times, not because I'm harsh, but because when I look at the women in my life, I don't just see who they are pretending to be to get through the day. I see their absolute glory and brilliance. I see the deep God-given gifts, the immense talent, and the beautiful potential that they often fail to recognize in themselves. And when I love you, I refuse to let you play small. So finally, she told me what was holding her back. She wants to come to Jamaica to visit me. Yay! On my end, I am thrilled. I'm ready to welcome her with open arms to this beautiful island, to show her what I've learned, to let her feel the sunshine, and to just let her be. But she was stuck. She told me she was hesitating, dragging her feet, and making excuses. The most frustrating part was that she couldn't even pinpoint why she was standing in her own way. Then she dropped the line that changed everything. She said, Matisha, if this trip was for my children, I would have made the accommodations and without thought. I would have cleared their schedule, bypassed every hurdle, ignored every excuse, and made sure they got on that plane without a second thought. I would do it for them in a heartbeat. But for myself, I just can't bring myself to pull the trigger. I didn't cut her off while she was telling her story. I just sat there on the end of the line, listening to the weight behind her words. And I let silence hang in the air for a moment and just let the truth of what she had just confessed sink in. And I circled back to her and I said, let me understand. You just told me that you would move mountains for your children to ensure they experience joy, adventure, and relaxation, correct? She paused and she said, yes, absolutely. So I gave her that exact tough love that she was looking for, and I said, then, my dear sister, it is officially time to mother yourself. The line went completely dead. You could have heard a pin drop across the ocean. The realization hit her so hard, it kind of stole her breath. And when she finally found her voice, she said, Matisha, I knew I had to call you. I knew you would have the answer. That phrase, mothering yourself, struck a nerve because it exposed a silent epidemic. Millions of women are running themselves into the ground every single day, mastering the art of caregiving for everyone else while completely deleting themselves from their own lives. Why? Why is it that as women we can build entire empires for the people we love, but we hesitate to build a simple bridge to our own joy? This is the disappearing act of womanhood. From the moment we take on responsibilities, whether we're raising children, building careers, or taking care of aging parents, we just quietly step into the background. We treat our own mental health, our own desires, and our own rest as secondary luxuries. We feed everyone else first, clothe everyone else first, and validate everyone else first. We tell ourselves the lie that we could take care of ourselves later when the timing is perfect. But as we rise in age, we learn a harsh truth. The perfect time is a fairy tale. If you do not actively claim your peace, the world will happily consume it for you. And let's look at this with real honesty. Neglecting yourself doesn't just hurt you. It eventually destroys everything you are trying to protect. Think about the law of erosion. What happens when you neglect a beautiful garden? It gets overtaken by weeds. What happens when you neglect a home? The roof leaks, the paint peels, the foundation cracks. What happens when you drive a car for thousands of miles and refuse to change the oil or check the brakes? It'll break down when you need it the most. Human beings are no different. When you neglect your emotional, mental, and physical well-being, you don't save it for later. You allow it to break down and erode. That erosion shows up quietly at first. It looks like chronic exhaustion. It looks like unexplainable short temper. It looks like resentment toward the very people you love because you're constantly giving away pieces of yourself that you can no longer afford to lose. You can't pour love, wisdom, or patience from an empty cup. Self-neglect is not a virtue. It is a slow breakdown. So what does it mean to mother yourself? It means you start extending the same fierce protection, unconditional love, and radical care to yourself that you naturally give to everybody else. It's looking at your life and saying, I deserve joy. I deserve rest. I deserve to take that trip to Jamaica. I deserve to step away from the noise and replenish my soul without feeling a single ounce of guilt. As we rise in age, mothering yourself becomes a strict requirement for survival. It's how you reclaim your identity for what you do for other people. So to every woman watching this right now who is hesitating on booking that flight, taking that day off, or investing in herself, stop waiting for permission. All those responsibilities will be there when you get back. The chores aren't going anywhere. The problems aren't going anywhere. But your spirit, your health, and your life cannot wait forever. We have a limited time on this spinning rock. So stop playing small. It is time to step back into your power, reclaim your time, reclaim your energy. It is time to honor the gifts inside of you. It's time to mother yourself. Thank you so much for listening. Love, health, and wealth, and I look forward to seeing my dear friend next month. We are going to frolic and play like two little girls. Peace.